Welcome to this three-part series where I dive into the Asheville Airbnb market, one of the most unique and competitive short-term rental destinations in the country. In each episode, I'll walk you through one of Asheville's top-performing properties and reveal its moat, the features, design choices, and guest experiences that separate it and keep it booked year-round. I'll break down what guests rave about, what really drives revenue, and how these properties are positioned to dominate the market. And more importantly, I'll show you how to spot the same opportunities for your own short-term rental investments. Whether you're an investor searching for your next property, a host looking to boost performance, or just curious about what separates the best from the rest, you're in the right place. Let's jump in. So the thing I love about this particular property that I'm driving to is the proximity to Asheville. So it's within about an 8-minute drive of Asheville. Now remember, Asheville has very strict regulations in the city. So you can't actually STR a new property within the city limits, but there's the town of Asheville, or basically the outside of Asheville, that still has that Asheville address, but it's outside of the city limits where you can legally STR. And so finding that sweet spot where you still have that Asheville address is key with the proximity to the city. So this property, like I said, is 8 minutes from it and doesn't have to worry about the permitting. So having proximity to Asheville, in my opinion, is one of the strongest moats that you can have, because this is a mountain market, meaning a lot of really good potential properties, if you're looking at buying something, are going to be further away. They're going to be way up in the mountains and a lot harder to get to. So I love that this property has proximity and a quick, easy access to Asheville. Flip it up. Yeah, this is it right here. Wow, look at those views. But views aren't the only thing that does well in Asheville, North Carolina for short-term rentals. Let's see what else this property called Black Bear Ridge has to offer and what its moat is to separate it from everybody else. So one thing that guests, especially large group sizes of 16 or more, absolutely love is space in the property. It's not just about how many people you can sleep, like heads in beds, it's about the space and the comfort they feel in this property. And so this 5-bedroom, 4-bath property is over 3,700 square feet and can comfortably sleep, eat, and accommodate up to 16 guests. So in a word, space, 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 space. Lots and lots of space. So much space. Look, space is actually really important. It markets really well, and it gives off that the property is huge and it can accommodate more people than what you might be trying to list. So one of the things I really like about bigger properties is that they have kitchenettes. Not just one central kitchen, but a place where people can store maybe leftover food or things when they go out and travel in another area that's closer to their bedrooms, just like this property has in the basement. So one of the reasons why we have a 5-star rating with over 20 reviews on this particular property is because we clearly explain instructions and how to operate all the complicated things in this property. How we do that is through using a guidebook and also QR codes throughout the property that guests can just scan and get the instructions in a video to help them understand how to use something at the property. So that helps especially with guests who maybe where English isn't their first language, and let's face it, everyone knows how to use a phone. I absolutely love branding in short-term rentals, and clear branding at that. So we've got Black Bear Ridge here, that's the name of the property, it's on the title of the listing. What we're trying to do with that is build a brand for direct bookings. So after guests stay, whether it's on Airbnb, VRBObooking.com, they know the name of this property. They know what it stands for and how to access that if they were to decide to come back again through our direct booking site. Now, one of the most common things I see in mountain markets are the game rooms and the types of games they have in the rooms. So I typically see pool tables and arcade machines, maybe a ping pong table, but in the reality, guests love something unique. They love to try different things, especially in an Airbnb, and have a unique experience. That's why if you don't have a huge space, leverage some of the smaller things like darts, shuffleboard like we have here, or even something unique like a pinball machine. That's pretty cool. We will not be intimidated by weak or boring amenities. Now watch this drive. So there are standard amenities you have to add to any property. So for example, the sauna over here, we have the classic hot tub over here, obviously with your string lights all above it, and then finally the fire pits down here. Now, a couple things you'll notice that might be a little bit different that hopefully caught your eye. Number one, each of these amenities are facing the view. So it's not just having the amenity, it's what you do with the amenity, right? And then second, did you notice this box right here? What's that? That's actually a projector. This projector shows to a screen over here, so while you're in the hot tub soaking, you can watch your favorite show or movie. So don't forget to be creative with your furniture, just like at Black Bear Ridge. We have some standard things, but we also have some really cool things like this hammock that you can see the views from. Woo! Having family-friendly amenities is really important, but having unique family amenities like this slide really can help you separate yourself from the competition. It's really important though to not only just have them, but to market it. So what we did with this one is we put this slide on the outside of the home, also facing the views. So in all of our photos, all in the drone shots that you've seen, you can see the slide, you can see all the amenities, and that is grade A marketing. So we've talked about the proximity of this property, the space of this property, and the amenities of the property. But the number one thing that really sells this property and people enjoy is obviously the views. Look over here. What do you see? Now, I want you to look down here. What do you see? And then finally, look over here. What do you see? Just trees and vegetation. You don't see the neighbors, right? The space and the privacy and the seclusion is absolutely critical when you're trying to run a large property that can host at least 16 people. This helps people feel like they're not being watched by their neighbors and no one's looking over their shoulder while they enjoy a private, intimate experience with their group. When you say your listing is truly family friendly, make it family friendly. Add games for the littles as well as for the teenagers and for the rest of the family that everybody can enjoy. I love this little bookcase here. Not only is it just, hey, there's some games, but they're also presented in a way that makes them look fun and enjoyable. And it's not 30 or 40 different games. It's maybe, 5 to 7. But these are the little things that people notice when they walk in and they see, wow, we can enjoy this, or even the kids as well. Little play places like these are absolutely golden and kids love it. Let me show you this real quick. Come check it out. See all these stuffed animals? Every single little boy or girl loves stuffed animals, especially new ones that they've never played with before. Design and decor in Airbnbs in Asheville is very, very important. I really wouldn't recommend just going into any property and trying to do it yourself unless you're already a professional designer. You have to hire one. Create a space that looks aesthetically pleasing and comfortable, but also has a little bit of color and a little bit of character to it as well. These types of spaces will help separate you from everybody else. So one of the things I really like about this property with the whole design and decor aspect is this design right here with the mountains and the whole motif. It's not just here where people first walk in and they see it, but it also goes and flows throughout the entire house. You can see it too in the stairway as it goes up to the second level. Wow, the sun is bright, but let's keep our eyes on the numbers. So this property was purchased for $950,000. We put in $225,000 into design, decor, and amenities to really furnish and make this property special. This year, we launched the property in about middle of February, and we're on pace to do over $170,000 in our first year. Our ADR is $712 with an average occupancy rate of 61%. That will give us, based on our performance and our calculations, a rough cash-on-cash return of about 19%. So with this particular property, what we decided to do is actually take down some of the trees so we could have a better view. Don't be afraid in this type of market where there's a lot of vegetation and frankly looks like a jungle to take some of that down and really make the landscaping play in to what you're trying to sell, which is the experience. And views are the #1 desired amenity for any property in Asheville, North Carolina.